The episode begins with a close-up of Eva's face, her expression haunted by the recent revelations. She's just discovered that Sarah, her best friend, was killed because of Liam and Aiden's past actions, a truth that shattered her world. The camera lingers on her as she stands in the dimly lit safe house, the weight of the betrayal pressing down on her like a heavy fog. The room feels suffocating, as if the walls themselves are closing in. Eva's mind is a whirlwind of emotions: grief for Sarah, anger at Liam, and a deep sense of betrayal. She can barely look at Liam, who stands across the room, his face etched with guilt. He knows he's the reason for her pain, and the burden of that knowledge is almost too much to bear. The camera captures the distance between them, the trust that once bound them now frayed and fragile. Unable to stay still, Eva begins to pace the room, her thoughts racing. Memories of her friendship with Sarah flood her mind, flashes of laughter, shared secrets, and moments of deep connection. But now, those memories are tainted by the knowledge that Sarah's death was no accident. The pain is almost unbearable, but beneath it, a new resolve begins to take shape. Liam finally breaks the silence, his voice strained as he tries to explain his actions. He tells Eva that he kept the truth from her to protect her, that he didn't want her to be dragged into the darkness that consumed his life. But his words ring hollow to Eva, who feels more like a pawn in a game she never wanted to play. The camera captures the tension between them, the unspoken words that hang in the air like a dark cloud. Mia, who has been watching the exchange with a carefully guarded expression, steps forward. Her voice is calm but firm as she reminds them that they can't afford to fall apart now, not when Aiden is still out there, hunting them. She emphasizes the need to stay focused, to keep moving, and to avoid letting their emotions cloud their judgment. But even as she speaks, there's a flicker of something in her eyes, something that suggests she's not telling them everything. As they prepare to leave the safe house, the camera follows their hurried movements. The tension in the air is palpable, the sense of impending danger looming over them. The safe house, which once offered a semblance of security, now feels more like a trap, a place where the walls could close in at any moment. They gather their belongings quickly, the atmosphere charged with urgency. The scene shifts to the darkened streets of the city, the camera capturing their tense, deliberate movements as they navigate through narrow alleys and deserted roads. The city, which once seemed familiar, now feels like a labyrinth of shadows and unseen threats. The camera lingers on their faces. Liam's expression is one of grim determination, while Eva's is a mix of anger and resolve. Mia, ever vigilant, scans the surroundings, her senses on high alert. They reach a new safe house, a small, nondescript apartment on the outskirts of town. The space is cramped and sparse, offering little comfort or security. But it's a place to rest, if only for a moment. The camera follows them as they enter, capturing the heavy silence that settles over them as they take in their new surroundings. The safe house may be new, but the weight of their situation remains unchanged. Inside, the tension between them continues to simmer. Eva, still reeling from the revelations about Sarah, struggles to process her emotions. She finds herself drawn to a small window, staring out at the darkened streets below. The city feels distant, almost alien, as if it's a place she no longer recognizes. The camera zooms in on her face, capturing the mix of emotions: grief, anger, and a growing determination. Liam watches her from a distance, his heart heavy with regret. He wants to reach out to her, to explain, but he knows that the damage has been done. The camera shifts to him, highlighting the internal struggle he faces, the guilt that gnaws at him, the fear that he's lost her for good. But even as he grapples with these emotions, there's a flicker of hope, a belief that maybe, just maybe, they can find a way through this. Mia, ever the pragmatist, keeps her focus on the task at hand. She knows that they can't afford to be complacent, that Aiden is still out there, and that their time is running out. But as she watches Eva and Liam, there's a hint of something more in her expression, a subtle tension that suggests she's hiding something, that there's more to her involvement than she's letting on. As the night wears on, the camera captures the heavy silence that hangs over the safe house. The air is thick with unspoken words, the tension between them almost unbearable. Eva remains by the window, her gaze fixed on the streets below, lost in thought. Liam, unable to stay still, paces the room, his mind racing with guilt and regret. Mia, ever watchful, keeps her distance, her eyes flicking between them, her thoughts hidden behind a calm exterior. The episode draws to a close with a lingering shot of Eva by the window. The camera slowly zooms in, capturing the mix of emotions that play across her face. She knows that the road ahead is fraught with danger, that the shadows of the past are closing in. But she also knows that she can't afford to let fear dictate her actions. The camera pulls back slowly, leaving Eva standing alone, a figure caught between the shadows of the past and the uncertainty of the future. The final moments of the episode are filled with a tense silence, the camera lingering on the scene before fading to black. The viewers are left with a sense of anticipation, knowing that the story is far from over and that the real dangers are only just beginning to reveal themselves.